Hey, dude, drop.
He said it!
Released 3 years after Scream 2 in the year 2000, Scream 3 has been considered the black sheep for decades, at least until another entry. But more on that later. Is Scream 3 as bad as they say, or is it just misunderstood? Stick with me as we discover the answer to that question together. Let's get into it. What's up, I'm Sippin, and Scream 3 has always been the controversial one of the group, with some enjoying it and some not so much. As I'm sure a lot of you know, the main reason for that was due to the real world tragedies that changed the script. The original script had a cult of Ghostfaces hunting down Sidney and her friends, but was later changed to what we have today. Before we dive in, obvious spoiler warning for the movie 24 years old, but I'm sure we all have seen this movie by now, so let's just get on into it. Also stay tuned to the end because I have a major announcement. The film opens up to a helicopter flying overhead the Hollywood sign, as we hear of a major accident causing a traffic jam on the freeway. Cotton Weary is talking to his agent about future shows. Bro has made it big off his events of the previous films. He gets a call from a fan, but as they talk, the fan turns something off. Then we hear Ghostface's voice telling Cotton they are outside his girlfriend's bathroom door. Ghostface then asks where Sidney Prescott is, but Cotton given the wrong answer, Ghostface hangs up the phone, causing Cotton to speed home. As we see Christine walking around their home, we see that the phone line has been cut. What If by Creed starts blaring, causing her to investigate. She believes it to be Cotton as we hear his actual voice talking to her, but it's not. Out pops Ghostface attacking her. She manages to buy some time by locking herself in a room. The real Cotton then arrives and begins the search, grabbing a fire poker along the way. Cotton finds the locked door and breaks it down, and he finds Christine, but she believes him to be her attacker, so she starts swinging on bro. Ghostface is walking up behind her, and as Cotton warns her, he takes a shot to the dome piece, while Christine takes a shot to the back from Ghostface. They then wrestle with Cotton until he lets one loose into his chest, ending the opening sequence by telling Cotton, "You lose." Not the best opening scene. I enjoyed it for what it was, but as you have noticed, the tool Ghostface has in this one is a voice changer like in every film, but this one can fully replicate anyone's voice, even in person. Not my cup of tea, but other than that, I did enjoy the back and forth of Christine and Cotton. We open back up with our girl Sidney. She has become secluded and has many locks and alarms protecting her property. She works as a crisis helpline employee under the name Laura. Next, we catch up with Gail and her haircut. She's speaking with a college class about journalism and reporting, and as she wraps it up, the professor informs her someone is here for her. It's Detective Mark Kincaid. He lets Gail know about Cotton, and he reveals a photo that was left at the scene. A photo of Maureen Prescott. We show up to a large production set of Stab 3, as the song Red Right Hand shows itself once again in the franchise. The cast of Stab 3 discuss possible theories, such as Sidney being the killer, or some upset fan mad that they killed Randy off. I wonder if that becomes a motive one day. Gail's haircut arrives on set and runs into her Stab 3 actor, Jennifer Jolie, along with her bodyguard, Joe Swanson, and technical advisor, Dewey the Dewdrop Riley. Gail eventually gets tossed out, and I'm only mentioning that for this part. As she is getting kicked out, a tour of the facilities is taking place, with Jay and Silent Bob in attendance. Later, Sidney is asleep on her couch as she is having a nightmare of her mom walking up to her. She calls her poison, and that Sidney is just like her. As Sidney checks it out, Ghostface pops up, smashing the window, causing her to fall back. She looks through the window, seeing it's not broken though. Sarah Darling heads to the set to meet up with Roman, where she begins hearing noises, causing her to be on edge. She gets a call from Roman and they talk scenes, but again, it's not actually Roman. Ghostface threatens her while she runs to hide. And as she hides among other Ghostface costumes and props, the real one surfaces. She tries to fight back, but everything is a prop. Except for that nasty left hook, and, well, the knife. I actually enjoyed this sequence a lot. Her talking scenes, and then her trying to fight back, but everything being a prop was nice. The scene was shorter than I remember though. Dewey and Gail have a nice little sit down together and talk the situation. He believes someone on set wants to find out Sidney's location, so Dewey leaves to go to Jennifer's home to help her, with Gail following him. Jennifer is upset as they learn about Sarah's death. Here is where we discover something big. Ghostface is killing people in the order they die in the script. Jennifer, Gail, is next on the chopping block. Dewey tells Stone that he is going to the crime scene, and here's where we get the iconic name I Live By gets introduced.
Hey, Dewdrop.
Remember when I said the killer is following the script? Well, Kincaid lets us know that there are 3 versions of the script with different outcomes. So now we don't know which one the killer read. Roman is freaking out about his movie being put on hold, but then the detectives begin accusing him as reporters are saying he called Sarah for a meeting at the set, where she, well, died. He claims he didn't call her though. Catching up with Sidney, she's on the phone with someone as part of her crisis hotline job. The voice sounds oddly like Maureen Prescott. They claim they killed someone, and the call delves deep into creepiness where they say they are mother. She tells Sidney to turn on the news, and when she does, she learns about the second death. We catch up to most of the remaining cast. Tom is going through it, ripping up scripts and hurling accusations at Angelina. Gail, being Gail, arrives via no invitation. She gets busted by Stone though, so her and Dewey go off to talk. But instead of talking about the relationship, Gail tells us that they released Roman. His phone didn't call Sarah, but a clone phone did, just like in the original. We also learned that 2 years before Maureen met Sid's father, she actually left Woodsboro, but no one knows why, except someone does. Dewdrop notices Maureen's location is actually the backlot of the studios. As Stephen Stone is investigating Dewey's trailer, he is attacked and seemingly killed. That is, until he scares the group by falling dead in front of them. As the power is cut out, script pages begin printing out the fax machine. Dewey and Gail, knowing it's gotta be a trap, force everyone outside, while Tom rushes back in to read the final page, but all it says is, "Whoever smells the gas." The house blows up big time, taking Tommy Boy with it, as Dewey, Gail, and Jennifer roll down the hill. Dewey walks down more to see Gail, but he also sees Ghostface rushing at her. Being the absolute marksman he is, dude, he lights dude up in the chest. But being the also clumsy dude he is, he slips and falls the rest of the way down the hill. Ghostface uses that opportunity to escape. Before the scene ends, they find another picture where the killer claims they killed Maureen Prescott, not Billy or Stu. Kincaid wants to locate Sidney to question her, so Dewey is forced to reach out to her, but she doesn't answer. Because she beat him to the punch. She's actually at the precinct already. Sidney tells Kincaid to take her to the set where the pictures have been taken. As the team arrives, they run into Martha Meeks, Randy's sister. She plays a VHS tape for them titled Scary Movies 101. It's Randy. He gives us another set of rules. We are dealing with a trilogy. The rules are as follows. 1. The killer will be superhuman. 2. Anyone, including the main character, can die. 3. The past will come back to bite you in the ass. Thank you, Randy. We will miss you and your movie knowledge. Gil heads to the archives, and she is joined by Jennifer Jolie. Their banter back and forth is one of the highlights of this movie. When they make it to the basement, they talk to Bianca, played by Carrie Fisher, as they mention she looks just like her. This movie is filled with meta moments like this, and it's just so nice. Bianca shows them some movies Maureen Prescott was in, and we learn all of them were John Milton's movies. Meanwhile, Sidney's in the bathroom trying to regain her composure, while she hears and sees some boots in the bathroom stall, similar to the original. But this time, Sidney just bursts open the door to find Angelina Tyler stealing some props as souvenirs, which creates the start of a theory, one that has Angelina Tyler as a Ghostface. But that's a story for another time. Let me know if that's something you actually would like to see. Anyways, Sidney follows her because she left one of the props. Sidney is now on set. She is in her old room where she reminisces on Billy. As she looks out the window, the door shuts. Sidney uses this time to lock the door by using the closet door against it, but she's looking in the wrong area. Ghostface appears from the window, yanking her outside. She runs back inside and has a scuffle very similar to her first encounter in the original. She makes it to her parents' room where she begins hearing Billy and Stu talk about her mom again. And she even gets tormented by who she believes to be the ghost of her mom again. Dewey and the detectives arrive on scene. Later, we see Roman confessing his problems to John Milton, the man who produced the movies with Maureen in them. Gil and the others arrive, and before Roman leaves, Jennifer wishes him a happy birthday. Afterwards, we learn from Milton the disgusting depravity that is Hollywood. He confesses he was well known for his parties. Many innocent people seeking fame would be used and controlled by Milton, and his excuse? It was the 70s. It was a different time. He may not be the killer, but he's certainly evil. Jennifer, Gail, and Dewey receive a call from who they believe to be Sidney, asking them to go to the party, so they pull up. Roman and Jennifer walk off together and he hits us with a classic line. "We'll be right back." Dewey and Gale call the number back and they hear a phone ringing in the closet. It's lying on top of a Ghostface costume next to this stupid piece of horse hockey piss in a cup voice changer, dude. I'm sorry, I just hate that thing. It's so unrealistic. To this day, we still don't have something that can perfectly mimic someone's voice. I mean, we low-key are getting scarily close with AI though. They separate to try and find the others. Dewey finds Tyson while Gale finds the basement Roman and Jennifer were at. She heads inside and finds a coffin with a recently stabbed Roman inside. She checks his pulse. Nothing. Remember that. Jennifer pops out of hiding, and as they run out, they find Angelina, who then hits them with the coldest line in the film by calling them second-rate celebrities. But don't fret, she is immediately taken out. This next scene, bear with me, a lot happens very quickly. Dewey meets up with the girls only to be decked in the jaw. Ghostface chases them into the room Tyson was in. Dewey turns Ghostface around so he can get slashed on the arm and thrown to the ground. But my boy Tyson backs him up by slamming him into the dresser only to get stabbed himself. Jennifer runs and hides in the closet while Gale throws a lamp at him. And while Tyson makes a break for it, Ghostface chases after him.
Oh, you motherfucker!
He makes it to a long hallway where Ghostface pulls the metaphorical and literal rug out from under his feet, causing him to hit a mean flip. He grabs Tyson and tosses him over the balcony. Afterwards, Jennifer runs into Ghostface, who backs her into a corner. She is on the other side of a one-way mirror that has a disgusting meaning. Dewey notices Jennifer banging on the mirrors, but since they are one-way mirrors, he can't actually see her. So, he shoots them out, but not before she gets stabbed. Very soon after, Gale is grabbed, and her and Ghostface fall down into the basement. Ghostface is knocked out. Dewey notices she is gone, and that so is Tyson. He begins looking for her and finds them in the basement. The silliest scene then follows. Dewey opens the door to find Ghostface waking up. He shoots Ghostface. Wait, no. Brother, your gun is not loaded, dude. So Ghostface throws his knife at him, Call of Duty style. But the butt of the knife hits his forehead, causing him to tumble down the stairs. Like, dog, why is your gun not loaded? You had one job, dude. At the precinct, Sidney gets a call from Ghostface. He has Gale and Dewey hostage, forcing Sidney to come out to her rescue.
You can't keep getting away with it! You can't keep getting away with it!
Before leaving though, she suits up and she grabs a little bang bang. Arriving to the party, she is forced to use a metal detector and has to toss her gun. She finds Dewey and Gale tied up. But before that, she gets attacked. Having outsmarted Broseph, she pulls out a second gun and lights Broheem up like a Christmas tree. Kincaid soon arrives, making himself look awfully suspicious, but then Ghostface comes from behind and lunges for Sidney. Seeing this, Kincaid throws her out of the way, taking a little stab, and proceeds to have a scuffle with him. After he wins the fight, Ghostface chases Sidney to a room where she locks him out. Before he can break in, Sidney finds a hidden room behind a bookcase. Like this shit's some kind of Scooby-Doo episode. How she knew one of those books would open up a hidden wall is beyond me. Either way, it's not looking too good though, as Ghostface found another way in and has her locked in. Time for the reveal. The killer was her own brother, Roman Bridger.
Roman Bridger, director. And brother.
Who? He reveals everything actually started from him. He created Billy. He caused him and Stu to start their spree. He pulls out Milton, who he then ends. Afterwards, he and Sid have a final battle. When Roman begins to overpower her and win, Dewey knocks the power out and Kincaid picks the lock and sneaks in. He then gets folded like an omelet when Ghostface blasts a chair over his head. He takes Kincaid's gun and pops her twice in the chest. He turns away and comes back only to see she is gone. Meanwhile, Gale and Dewey found the door to bust down. Roman calls her phone and hears it's behind him. Sid pops out, stabbing him twice, taking him to the ground as she reveals she too was wearing a bulletproof vest. She stabs him in the chest, and as he falls out, he holds onto her hand. But remember, you gotta shoot him in the head. So Dewey finally nabs himself a win by finally ending Roman. The movie ends with everyone getting together at Sid's house. Dewey proposes to Gale, and we get a shot of Sidney opening the gate to her property, symbolizing her opening herself back up to the idea of moving on and trusting others. Kincaid tells her to come and sit. They have a movie ready. The film ends with a shot of Sidney's door creaking open, but sealing her progression and allowing herself to let others in. She walks away. Scream 3 honestly wasn't as bad as I remember. It had its moments though, so don't think I thought it was some kind of masterpiece. I was not, and still not a fan of the voice changer aspect. It's just too out of the realm of realism in a franchise that is somewhat grounded. The film is one of the weaker entries in the franchise, and for me, was the weakest for a while, but it might have actually been beaten out. Who knows? Stay tuned to find out. But what do I rank this movie? It's a solid 6.5 out of 10. It's good, it's enjoyable and fun, but it does take some missteps along the way. Before we head out, my 1,000 subscriber special is on its way. I still have to iron out a few details, but what I can tell you now is that it will be a live stream and it will involve you getting a voice. You will have a chance to make your opinions known, but you will have to know a lot about the horror genre, wink wink. What is your ranking of this film? Did you enjoy it? Let me know your thoughts and more down in the comments, and stay tuned because Scream 4 is on its way. I appreciate your time, stay chill, and I will see you next time.